there, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could make it. In today's episode, we are making the Braunschweiger. Absolutely amazing, incredibly delicious sausage. This sausage is an emulsified sausage, but it kind of has like a little asterisk next to it in the sense that it's not as difficult to make as other emulsified sausages in the category. It's a whole lot more forgiving. We still want to pay attention to temperatures, and I think this is a great opportunity to give away another Thermapen from Thermoworks. Thermoworks was kind enough to let us give away a couple of their Thermapens here at Celebrate Sausage. And if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you already know how important temperature is to the process of sausage making. We trust the Thermapen for reliability and speed, and that's exactly what Thermoworks is known for. They're accurate temperature reading devices. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description box below. Be sure to check them out. They not only have the Thermapen ONE, but they have the Dot, all kinds of amazing devices. They just came out with a wireless thermometer called the RFX, if I'm not mistaken. That is an absolute game changer. Matter of fact, there's nothing like it currently on the market. How do you enter to win? Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell if you're not already a subscriber. Share this video on your social media platform and give this video a thumbs up. Finally, and most importantly, drop this video a comment and let me know why you need a Thermapen from Thermoworks. One lucky comment will be selected at random on Wednesday at midnight, and on Thursday, the winner will be announced. I hope you win. Let's make the German Braunschweiger.
Let's take a look at the meat selection for this German Braunschweiger. We're starting off with fresh pork liver. You can find a recipe in the description box. We also have some cured ham. That's going to add a nice flavor. And we're going to be using just a little pork belly, add to the fat content of this sausage. The total fat content is going to be around 30%. We have pork back fat and a little pork shoulder. And I think what we're going to do here is run the meat and fat through the grinder, and I'm going to take the liver and run it through the blender. I want it to be ultra smooth. So I'm just going to cut up the ham, the pork belly, the pork shoulder into relatively manageable pieces, and then we're going to process the fat the same way. I am going to keep the fat separate, so we're going to grind that by itself. And before cutting up the liver, I did remove all of the veins inside. So we're just going to chop that up and run it through the blender. There are a few recipes that call for cooking the liver first, but I'm not going to do that because I think we're going to get more benefit from the liver in its raw form as we emulsify this sausage. And then towards the end of the process, we'll cook it up. So this is what we have so far. We have the meat and fat that's going to get partially frozen, and then the liver is going to go into the refrigerator. Let's take a look at the spices. We're going to use salt, Instacured #1, and a little sugar. I'm also going to be using some dried onion flakes. You can use fresh onions that have been sauteed. That's fine. We have white pepper, nutmeg, we've got coriander, and a little ginger. This next ingredient is one called sodium erythorbate. It's a cure accelerator, and we're adding that so that we can cook our sausage the same day that we prepare it. That's it. If you don't want to use that product, just let it sit in the fridge overnight. We're adding a binder. This is potato starch, and now we're done. So our spices are going to be in 1 cup. We're going to keep the binder separate. We're going to add that at the end of the process, and now our meats have been partially frozen. And notice that I'm keeping the fat separate. That's going to get ground by itself. I am going to use a 6mm plate for the grind, and we are going to double grind the meat and single grind the fat. Let's get it going.
Actually, I'm going to do it twice.
All right, there we go. The meat's on the left, the fat is on the right. And if you want to double grind the fat, you could do that as well. The only reason we're doing this is so that our food processor doesn't have to work nearly as hard. Let's talk about the blades on your food processor. This is super important. You want to make sure your blades are sharp. If your blades are not sharp, and I just recently sharpened mine, then what you're going to end up doing is whipping the meat rather than chopping the meat. And that's going to incorporate a lot of air into your final product, which might give you an undesirable texture. So let's get everything assembled. We've got our food processor. We're adding the meat portion and the spice portion of our recipe into this first stage. The fat and the binder and the liver, that's going to come towards the end. And I'm just going to go ahead and begin the chopping process. Now this should happen pretty quick because we did run everything through the grinder twice. And what we're looking for is we're looking for a smooth paste. This first step is all about protein extraction. And we can extract proteins most effectively under 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 Celsius. So we want to keep the temperature below 45 F. And one way to do that is to add crushed ice, which is what we're going to be doing here in a second. Our temperature is in the high 20s. Absolutely perfect. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wish I would have added a combination of ice and cream. I think cream would have gone great in this recipe. So we're going to chop for another 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and I want you to notice what's about to happen. See that ball that's forming right there? That's the first stage of your meat turning into a paste, and that right there is the food processor killer. If you don't have a strong enough food processor, that ball will cause your motor to burn up, and you definitely don't want that. But if you do have a strong enough food processor, it'll get past that stage and your meat will start to resemble a paste, which is where we're at right now. Our temperature is still below 45, and we're now going to add the liver that's been run through the blender. This has just been kept in the refrigerator, so it doesn't need to be, semi-frozen. At this point, we're going to chop for another 10 or 15 seconds, and we should be just about done with this first step. The batter that you've created should look super smooth, and the temperature should be very close to 45. In our case, it's a little bit higher, which is not that big a deal. It's now time to move on to the next step, which is the emulsification step. We're going to add more ice, our fat that we had reserved, and then, of course, we're going to add the binder. And during this emulsification step, we want to keep the temperature below 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 Celsius. That's not necessarily a target. That's just kind of like that high ceiling of where you want your temperature to be. So after about 30 or 45 seconds of chopping, let's go ahead and take the temperature. And what you're looking for is no discernible difference between fat and meat. In this particular case, it's perfect. Our temperature is in the high 40s, low 50s, and we're done. This looks great. The batter should be incredibly smooth. Like I said earlier, you shouldn't notice any kind of meat particles or fat particles. It just should look like one homogeneous mass, and that's what I'm talking about. Let's look at the casing. The casing that we're going to use for this sausage is very interesting. It's called the sewn fabric lined hog bung, and it's designed to be used with sausages that have a relatively loose and pretty wet batters. And what that sewn fabric lined interior does is it keeps that wet batter from cooking out. We got these from Craft Butcher's Pantry. I'll put a link in the description box below so that you could pick up a set. This is such a cool casing. What you got to do though is rinse it out and then invert it. So this is how it's going to come in the package. Your sewn fabric is going to be on the exterior. The natural casing is going to be on the interior, but before you use it, you need to invert the sausage so that the natural casing is on the outside and the sewn fabric is on the inside. And there you go. This is exactly what it should look like. Mine's already been rinsed out, sewn fabric on the inside. We're now ready to stuff this sausage. Here is our batter. Looks absolutely amazing. We are going to be using a 5-pound sausage stuffer from the sausage maker, and I'm going to be stuffing it with the largest horn that I have, which is a 1 1/4 inch stuffing horn. And this batter is actually super loose. So, I mean, you don't necessarily need a sausage stuffer to stuff this. You could probably spoon it in if you really wanted to. It's probably going to be a lot less messy with a sausage stuffer, but either way should be fine. So let's get this stuffed, and I'll show you how to cook it. All right, that was pretty easy. We're going to take whatever's remaining in that stuffing horn and get it out with this sausage stuffing horn cleaner tool. Just push it on out like that. And just so you know, the recipe size was 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds. And it looks like we can get a little more inside that case, maybe another ½ pound, something like that. All right, so how do you cook this sausage? Well, the Braunschweiger is a smoked liver sausage, and so no matter how you choose to cook it, you're definitely going to want to give it a little smoke, and how much smoke you add is completely up to you. We're going to see how this turns out when we cook it in our Smokin' It smoker from start to finish, but you can poach it, you can bake it, you can cook it sous vide. Really, the choice is yours. I'm not really sure what to expect since we're cooking this sausage for the first time, so we get to experience it together. I do feel like I want high humidity, so I've got a little pan of water in the smoker, hoping to increase the humidity. I do feel like maybe steaming this sausage might be even better than what we're doing here, but you know what? We're going to give it a go. We are going to be using our cold smoke generator from Smokin' It. This is called the Bella's cold smoke generator. And the type of wood I'm going to be adding is a combination of hickory and apple wood. And because the casing is so thick, I think I'm going to give it a little extra smoke than normal so that that smoke can penetrate that casing and give our Braunschweiger that beautiful smoky hickory flavor that I'm going for. So let's go ahead and close it down and let me show you the cooking schedule. This is on the Smokin' It app. We're going to start cooking at 125 Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Then the smoker is going to automatically switch to the next step, which is 140 degrees for 1 hour. Next, it's 150 degrees for an hour and a half, so very gentle cooking process here. And then we're going to bump up to 160 until the internal temperature of the sausage hits 145. As soon as that happens, the smoker is going to back down to 145, and it's going to hover there for about an hour, and that's merely for pasteurization. The process is officially complete. Let's open up the smoker, take a look at our beautiful sausage, and see what it looks like. Absolutely amazing color. Like I said, we did hit it with a little extra smoke using that cold smoke generator. And I gotta tell you, this just looks absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna take this and cool it down. I'm gonna set it in some cold water to stop the cooking process. And we're talking, you know, anything under 100 degrees is fine. We're gonna take it out of the water, set it on a rack so that the sausage can bloom, so that the flavors can come together. And this is all happening at room temperature. We're just gonna let it sit there for about 3 or 4 hours. Once we're done with that step, we're gonna pop it in the fridge. And tomorrow we'll cut it open and give it a taste. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this German liver sausage, the Braunschweiger? Check out the texture of those beautiful slices. What do you think about that? Are you into soft textured sausages? I don't mind them personally, but I don't eat a lot of them, so I'm pretty excited to see how this one tastes. It looks beautiful, smells amazing, spreads on really easy.
Let's try the Braunschweiger. Tell me guys what you think. German liver sausage. Very excited about how this one came out. A little different than the liverbust. Recipe slightly different. This one obviously is smoked. It's also very sliceable, so you got these beautiful slices. And at the same time, it's incredibly spreadable. Super, super smooth. I'm digging that smoke element to this sausage. All right, let's just give it a bite. Wow. That's awesome. I gotta tell you, it's spiced perfectly. The smoke element really elevates it, and the liver's coming in beautifully. I'm loving the texture though, I gotta admit it. The texture is ultra creamy. I mean, it almost melts in your mouth as soon as you put it in there. Let me just go in for another bite here. That is truly delicious. There is so much going on in this sausage. And I can tell you right now, I didn't make nearly enough. Let me try just a piece of the sausage by itself without the bread. See how it is. It's so creamy. What a neat experience. I mean, the unctuous quality of the sausage, it definitely feels like you're eating a gourmet liver sausage. I gotta fix myself another bite. This is awesome. I cannot believe I'm enjoying this as much as I am. The smoke definitely takes it to a completely different place. And obviously you can enjoy it just like this. Spread it on a crusty bread, eat it. It's absolutely delicious. Beautiful flavors. But you can pan fry it. You know, you can do all sorts of things with it. I actually read a few recipes online where people will take the Braunschweiger and then turn it into a dip by adding a few other ingredients. And it got me thinking, you know, we don't really make a lot of videos where we take a sausage and then show you how to use it in a recipe. So let me know in the comment section below if that's something that you'd like to see more of. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think about this German smoked liver sausage, the Braunschweiger. Absolutely delicious. And I know it's an emulsified sausage, and I know that I've gone on record stating that these are my least favorite sausages to make, but I gotta say, I would make an exception for this particular one. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it is a bit more forgiving than traditional emulsified sausages, and it is absolutely delicious. So if you do want to make it, I'm gonna put a recipe link in the description box below, and be sure to let me know if you want to see this sausage turned into an amazing party dip. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, if you are new to this channel and you enjoy sausage making, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. We've got a lot more sausage recipes. Stay tuned tomorrow, same time, same place. We have an absolutely amazing recipe. I do not want you to miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye. so creamy and so flavorful. One more time.